Hey there, welcome to Crash Course History Through Crime. Today we're diving into one of the most vibrant cultural movements in American history, the Harlem Renaissance. That's right, it was an explosion of black art, music, literature, and political thought centered in Harlem, New York during the 1930s and 1920s. It was a time of incredible creativity. It wasn't just about art. It was about identity, activism, and pushing back against racism during these times. He wrote about the everyday black struggles and joys and wasn't afraid to face racism head on. His famous poem, The Negro Speaks Rivers, connected black identity to deep historical roots. In the 92, he boldly declared that black Americans have a seat at the table, both literally and metaphorically. But Langston faced a challenge. Mainstream Americans wasn't always ready to hear his perspective. Publishers often rejected his work, and some critics even accused him of being too focused on working class black life. But guess what? That's exactly why he's so important. He made sure that all aspects of black life were represented in literature.
Now, if we're going to talk about empowerment, we have to talk about Marcus Garvey. Garvey was a political leader who championed black pride and economic independence. He founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, promoting the idea that black people should unite globally and even return to Africa to build a powerful, self-sufficient society. The movement known as Garveyism inspired millions, but it also made him a target. The US government saw him as a threat and convicted him on mail fraud charges, eventually leading to his deportation. Despite this, Garvey's ideas later influenced civil rights leaders such as Malcolm X and the Black Power movement. Alright, let's talk music. The Harlem Renaissance wasn't just a literary movement, it was also the golden age of jazz. Duke Ellington was a legendary composer and band leader. He was known for his hits like Take the A Train, and he elevated jazz into an art form, even going as far as playing in the famous Cotton Club. But wait, here's the challenge. The famous Cotton Club only allowed white audiences even though black performers performed there. And then there's Louis Armstrong, one of the greatest jazz musicians ever. And groundbreaking trumpet solos made jazz what it is today. But Armstrong had to deal with racism throughout his career. He was criticized for not being vocal enough about civil rights, even though his music helped break racial barriers.
Speaking of music, let's talk about Bessie Smith, also known as the Empress of the Blues. She had a powerful voice and sung about real struggles such as racism, poverty, and heartbreak. But she faced segregation head on when a hospital refused to treat her after a fatal accident resulting in her death. Many believe that racism contributed to her death. Still, her influence on blues and jazz is undeniable. No Bessie Smith, no Beyonce. Last but definitely not least, Paul Robeson. This guy did everything. He was an actor, a singer, and an outspoken activist. He played Othello in a time where black people weren't casted in major roles. And his voice, both in politics and music, were powerful. But standing up for his beliefs came at a cost. Because since he spoke out against racism and he supported communism, the US government blacklisted him, ultimately ruining his career. Despite that, Robeson's legacy as a fearless advocate still lives on. In conclusion, the 1920 Harlem Renaissance was not just a party like in The Great Gatsby. It was a cultural revolution. These artists and leaders faced racism, rejection, and even government persecution, but they kept pushing forward. And their impact? Huge! They laid the foundation for the civil rights movement and changed American culture forever. So the next time you hear a jazz song, read a powerful poem, or see black excellence celebrated, remember the Harlem Renaissance. Thanks for watching Crash Course History. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and keep learning. And as Langston Hughes said, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken wing bird that cannot fly. See you next time.